This is My Child Will Thrive, and I'm your host, Tara Hunkin, nutritional therapy practitioner, certified GAPS practitioner, restorative wellness practitioner, and mother. I'm thrilled to share with you the latest information, tips, resources, and tools to help you on the path to recovery for your child with ADHD, autism, sensory processing disorder, or learning disabilities. My own experiences with my daughter, combined with as much training as I can get my hands on, research I can dig into, and conferences I can attend, have helped me to develop systems and tools for parents like you who feel overwhelmed trying to help their children. So sit back as I share another great topic to help you on your journey. A quick disclaimer before we get started. My Child Will Thrive is not a substitute for working with a qualified healthcare practitioner. The information provided on this podcast is not intended to diagnose or treat your child. Please consult your healthcare practitioner before implementing any information or treatments that you have learned about on this podcast. There are many gifted, passionate, and knowledgeable practitioners with hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of study and clinical experience available to help guide you. Part of our goal is to give you the knowledge and tools you'll need to effectively advocate for your child so that you don't blindly implement each new treatment that comes along. No one knows your child better than you. No one knows your child's history like you do or can better judge what is normal or abnormal for your child. The greatest success in recovery comes from the parent being informed and asking the right questions and making the best decisions for their child in coordination with a team of qualified practitioners in different areas of specialty. Now on with the show. I'm really excited to have with me today Wendy Myers. Wendy's the founder of the MyersDetox.com. She's a detox expert, functional diagnostic nutritionist. Of course, I'm a nutritionist too, so it's a kindred spirit, and an NES bioenergetic practitioner in the Los Angeles area in California. She's the #1 best-selling author of Limitless Energy, How to Detox Metals and End Exhaustion and Chronic Fatigue. And she's also the host of the upcoming the HeavyMetalSummit.com, or the Heavy Metal Summit. Wendy also hosts 2 podcasts of her own, including Live to 110 about detox and the Supercharge podcast about bioenergetics. She's passionate about the importance of detox to live a long, disease-free life. And she created the revolutionary Myers Detox Protocol after working with thousands of clients. So Wendy, I'm really excited to have you here today. And I want to dive in by you giving the background of why you ended up working in this field in the first place.
Yes, well, I'm like many health practitioners. I found detoxification through my own health struggles and trying to figure out what was wrong with me, and the doctor did all these tests and found out I had the hormone levels of a menopausal woman and wanted to put me on a hormone replacement therapy. And this is an alternative doctor, a functional medical doctor, and that just wasn't right for me. I was only 37 years old at the time, and I wanted to find a way to naturally address my health issues, like something was causing an interference in my hormone production. What was that? How do I get rid of it and then restore my hormone function? So I found a website that talked about detoxification, mercury, aluminum, toxins, estrogen mimicking toxins, and how to detox those from your body. And that really resonated with me and made sense to me. So I embarked on a program and I started feeling a lot better. And something just clicked in me, and I had to tell the world about this. I just felt a passion and a drive to then start my website, MyersDetox.com, to tell people about what they're missing in their health regimen. Because I was doing everything right. Mm-hmm. I mean, my full-time job was my health, and I didn't have any major health diagnoses or anything, but I took impeccable care of myself, and I still felt like crap. And I just thought to myself, what is it that I have to do to feel good? Mm-hmm. What am I missing here? What am I doing wrong? And then over the course of time, my father died from his cancer treatments. He had esophageal cancer, and again, caused by 40 years of smoking. He had cadmium toxicity, which is essentially caused the cancer. Cadmium causes more cancers than all of the other metals combined. And then my daughter, at one point after he passed away, then got an autism diagnosis. And when I tested her, I finally got around to doing testing to get that diagnosis. And then I did metals testing on her, and I found that she had the highest levels of aluminum that I'd ever seen. I didn't know it at the time, but when I tested her, I thought, wow, those aluminum levels are really high. But after that, I tested thousands of clients that I had worked with over the years, and I realized now that she had many times more aluminum than anyone I'd ever tested. And we know that aluminum is an adjuvant in vaccines. And when our children are getting vaccinated, they are injected with nanonized aluminum that impacts immune system functioning and promotes nervous system disorders, encephalopathy, brain swelling, seizures, and other issues that we're seeing post-vaccination, within hours or days of being vaccinated. So as you might imagine, not a big fan of vaccines, but I had to deal with a child that had a diagnosis of autism and had to detox her and put her in a special school for autistic children to draw out her language. She just wasn't progressing in language acquisition, and spent a fortune, and it cost me my marriage. And like many people listening, I was looking for answers and seeking solutions, trying to get early intervention so I'd have the best outcomes for my child. And today, my child does no longer have an autism diagnosis. She might have some, language issues or, some issues, some learning issues, but nothing serious. So I can totally live with it. And for me, it's very important to get the word out about the importance of detoxification, because it makes a huge impact on children's and adults' health outcomes and helps them meet their health goals. And it's something many people are not aware of, and they need to add detoxification to their health regimen.
Yeah. And I mean, your story is very similar to a lot of other health practitioners that are out there, but I think what's, what we want to key into is that early intervention. And for you, it was detoxification, as well as some other therapies, obviously, that made a big difference for your daughter in particular. And I'm sure for clients that you worked with since then as well. For those people that aren't as aware, and we're going to talk quite a bit about the Heavy Metal Summit coming up. So what metals are included in the list of heavy metals that we might find in our bodies?
Yeah, so the most common metals that people have are mercury, lead, aluminum, arsenic, and a lot of people also have cadmium and nickel. Those are very, very common metals. And the majority of people have all of the above. The question is really, how much do you have in your body?
Yeah. And where, a lot of the common or conventional medicine says that this isn't really something we're really exposed to because they've controlled these things. Where are we getting them from? Is it from generationally from our parents? Is it from the exposure in the environment? Is it from our food? Where are we finding them these days?
Yeah, so children are getting lead from our bones when they're growing in utero. The lead is stored in our bones, and then it gets into their bones, passed on to them. If the mother has mercury fillings, there's a direct correlation with developmental delays in children. The higher the number of mercury fillings, the higher the higher the correlation with developmental delays and autism. And we get it in the air, food, and water. We're breathing in aluminum, we're breathing in mercury. We are getting it in our food, in our supplements. There are pesticides that were banned decades ago, but they're still in the soils and getting into our food, even if it's organic. You can still get metals in your food and organic food. So we're getting it in our shower water. Even if you're drinking filtered water, you can still be absorbing metals and chemicals through your skin. So no one is immune. No one is exempt. Everyone in some way or another is getting these toxins in our environment.
So with that in mind, then, maybe you can talk to me a little bit about some of the signs and symptoms that someone might have, or one of our kids would have, if they did have some level of heavy metal toxicity.
Yeah, so the most common symptom of metal toxicity is fatigue. And that's something I talk a lot in my book, Limitless Energy, about how certain metals interfere in our body's ability to produce energy. Another common symptom is brain fog. A lot of metals will get in our brain, get in our fat, affect our central nervous system functioning and our brain functioning. Nausea is another one. If your liver is having trouble processing all of the toxins in your body, you may experience nausea, which was a frequent issue for me. Headaches are a big one, pain syndromes, blood sugar regulation issues, arsenic and iron can wreak havoc on your ability to control your blood sugar. And there's a lot of other symptoms as well. You can have skin issues, you can have rashes and things of that nature. Autoimmune disorders, a lot of different metals interfere in proper immune system functioning. And it really runs the gamut. I mean, cancers can be caused by metal toxicities, especially cadmium. I have an article on my website on myersdetox.com called The Signs and Sources of Toxic Metals. And you can get all the different sources of every metal, what symptoms and health issues that they may cause. And you can do Control F on your computer and do a search for whatever your symptom is and find any potential metal that might be causing that symptom or diagnosis.
Well, I'll make sure to link to that in the show notes for today's podcast. That's a fantastic resource. So with the summit, who can we look forward to hearing from, and what types of things might the parents of children with neurodevelopmental disorders be interested in looking out for?
Yes. So I am hosting the heavymetalsummit.com with Dr. Christine Schaffner and Dr. Dietrich Klinghardt. And we wanted to team together to bring together the world's foremost experts on metal toxicity, the most cutting edge detox protocols, the best detox supplements, and why and how we need to detox. And we had Dr. Joe Pizzorno, who has an amazing book called The Toxin Solution, talking about arsenic toxicity on the summit. We also have Dr. Eliza Song talking about, how to detox your children and how to do that safely. We have a number of other speakers, Dr. Stephanie Seneff, who does a lot of research about glyphosate, and that's, Roundup Ready. It's called, Roundup pesticide spray. It's sprayed on all of our food. She's made connections between that killing our good gut bacteria and how that contributes to autism. She's done a tremendous amount of research about that and talks about that on the show. We have Dr. Randy Hartnell, who talks about, should you eat fish? Is there too much mercury in fish for it to be consumed? That's an amazing talk, and you might be surprised. We have Erin Elizabeth of Health Nut News talking about the toxins in vaccinations, which is a very, hotly debated topic. We have, Jonathan Landsman talking about mercury and mercury fillings. Just a lot of really amazing speakers. Dr. Ben Lynch talking about genetic mutations that might interfere in detoxification. Just lots of fantastic speakers. Julie Matthews is talking about how heavy metals affect children with autism. So those are just a few of the things that you might be interested in if you're have been thinking about maybe you or your child need to detox.
Yeah. Well, it is tremendous list of experts that you've gathered, and I can see how many of these talks will be of great support to parents that are looking to help their kids. What are other ways that parents can find your work, in particular the Myers Detox Protocol?
Yes. So if you go on myersdetox.com, I have a tremendous amount of information about my protocol. I've just worked with thousands of clients, and just over the years have honed a protocol that has worked very, very well. Just starting with a hair mineral analysis. I think it's a non-invasive test, metals test that anybody can do. But we also do urine metals tests and stool metals tests as well. But we start with a hair mineral analysis because that's everyone can do it, and it's non-invasive, and you can do it at home, super easy. And it gives me a lot of information. It's by no means a perfect test. There's no perfect metals test. There's no test that will tell you all the metals you have in your body. Typically, a first test won't show that many metals, but we'll have a lot of indirect clues as to what metals you have based on mineral levels or based on your symptoms or what we see metal levels on the test. But many people, when they start testing, aren't detoxing very well, and they need minerals, they need supplements, they need detox protocols to coax those metals out of their tissues. And then we'll see more metals coming out on subsequent tests. And this happens all the time. And so a lot of people erroneously think if they do a test and there's no metals coming out, oh, great, I'm free and clear. And that unfortunately actually is bad. It means you probably have quite a few metals in your body because you're not able to detox them and excrete them. And I find my healthier clients have the most metals coming out. The young athletes I test, or I've worked with Ben Greenfield and Donna Gates and Dr. Joe Mercola. I've worked with him as well, and I find that the healthier people have tons of metals coming out. So the next thing I like to do is, based on that hair mineral analysis, develop a custom supplement protocol for people. And we use the highest quality supplements. I'm kind of a supplement snob. So I like to use really high quality supplements. And then, people get, a number of detox protocols they can choose from that fits their lifestyle or their budget. And it's just a really great protocol that it's really customized. I don't really like cookie cutter type programs. I want people to do things that work for them, and they really get a lot of hand holding and a lot of email support and webinars, so they can really, I want to teach people about detoxification. There's a little bit of a learning curve. So we have this, program laid out so that people can learn everything they need to know so they can detox for life. They can add these, these detox strategies to their health regimen for life. And that's my goal.
Yeah. Well, it's fantastic. I mean, the one thing that I talk about this a lot is the biggest question we always get here at My Child Will Thrive is, where can I find someone that knows what they're doing to work with? So it's always great to hear about a practitioner that has a program that it can be accessible to lots of different people, no matter where they are in the world. And hair mineral analysis certainly allows for that. So that's fantastic. So I'll make sure to link to that in the show notes. And I encourage everybody to sign up for the Heavy Metal Summit and I'll put a link to that as well, so that you can not miss out on any of the talks that are coming up. When does the summit start?
Yeah, so the Heavy Metal Summit starts on January 29th, and it goes until February 5th, and there'll probably be a replay at the end of that, like February 6th and 7th, or 5th and 6th. There'll be a little replay of that, of all the talks. So if you miss any, you can catch up. But yeah, there'll be about 5 talks a day. It's totally free and online. But if you don't have 5 hours a day to listen to all the talks, you can certainly get the summit. It's a very nominal fee. It's not terribly expensive.
That's fantastic. Well, I am really excited that we got a chance to talk about this today. And again, encourage everybody to sign up and hear from the experts directly, as well as, do you have your own talk on the summit as well, Wendy?
I do. Dr. Klinghardt interviewed me about toxic metals that cause fatigue. That's one of my favorite things to talk about.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's fantastic, because the one thing I was going to say is that many of the parents will see that in their children as well. They'll see fatigue as a symptom, but mitochondrial dysfunction, which I know you talk about a lot as well. So if that's something that your child is having challenges with, then make sure to check out Wendy's talk on the summit as well with Dr. Klinghardt. So thank you again. I really, really appreciate your time today, and I can't wait to dive into the summit next week. So that's a wrap. Thanks for joining me this week on My Child Will Thrive. I'm so passionate about giving you the tools and information you need to help your child recover. And as they say, it takes a village, so join us in the My Child Will Thrive Village Facebook group, where you can meet like-minded parents and stay up to date on everything we have going on at My Child Will Thrive. This is Tara Hunkin, and I'll catch you on the next podcast or over at mychildwillthrive.com.